listeners. The bill was actually brought to the Committee of Roads and Transport. We have a joint committee meeting, and we deliberate on this particular clause. Initially, we, the Transport Committee, actually refused to actually add these clauses that has actually generated a lot of public utterance or public cry. And, we have another committee which is constitutional and legal. And actually, they inserted this particular clause on it. But my worry as a nation is that we have three arms of government. We have the executive, legislature, and the judiciary. And if you look at what actually has generated this particular heat or debate, it's only the legislature people or the MPs that all over people are talking about. But we forgot about the other arms of government. And always Ghanaians are on members of parliament. Meanwhile, we play a major role in our democracy. We enact laws and other things. But sometimes the public actually comes after the MPs that we transfer ourselves as a superhuman being, which is not so. So for me, we'll leave it for the House to decide because it is both sides of the House. It's not only MPP or NDC. We have members of this particular committee who has actually decided to actually insert this clause into the bill. And Parliament as a whole will debate and see how best it can fit into this particular bill. If Parliament are totality reject, fine, for me, I will accept it. But let us not actually single out one particular arms of government and always pour our anger on this particular arms of government. That's my view.
Okay, so let me just get this clear. Usually the allies come from outside the House of Parliament seeking to either create a new law or amend an existing law. You are saying that when the Transport Committee brought this LI, MPs were not part. It was rather the Constitutional and Legal Committee of the House. I believe it's chaired, is it by the Honorable Dominic Ayine?
Yes. What I was saying is that they brought this particular to the transport. Road safety is under the Ministry of Roads and Transport. And in the Committee of Roads and Transport, this actually fall under it. But normally, when such bills are referred, it is a joint committee meeting. So initially, when it came, those are the road committee were actually rejecting this particular proposal. But later, when they sent it to the Constitutional and Legal Committee for them to put finality into it, they actually inserted it. And for instance, my brother, I'm from constituency today. When I reach this particular portion of the road, which is being under construction, of Anchor 2, it took about 2 hours to reach Parliament. Meanwhile, today, if you have realized, the NDC people have raised column. That's why we couldn't transact business today. And sometimes, like I was saying, the other arms of government use it. It is only MPs, members of parliament, which normally, when such things are introduced or such things will help members of parliament to perform our duty, as also part of the democracy or the arms of this
let me just get this clear. Let me just get it clear, please, for clarity purposes. Are you saying that the MPs was inserted by the Ayine committee, or you're saying that it was already on the LI, but they have maintained it?
Not part of it.
So they inserted it.
Yes. They actually, when the Transport Minister or the Road Safety Authority appear before the committee, the Constitutional and Legal, I think they agree. And the MP said they are also part of the arms of the government. And actually, that's why this fund is on it. And normally, these committees are the final committees who actually, deal with bills and other things before it comes to the chamber for us to debate as total MPs.
Interesting. Okay, so you agree with it in practice that all 275 MPs should have sirens and be wailing through town?
Implemented. I'm not saying that we should. It's not always that MPs will be using it wherever. It's not a case that wherever you are going, you use a siren. In some cases, for instance, I cite some example for you today. when we are coming to Parliament, I'm from the constituency. It took me about 2 to 3 hours to just actually go through this particular before Parliament. When we read it, they are actually called for a quorum, and Parliament adjourned.
So the question would be, are MPs more human than the other persons in traffic? What would be your response to that question?
Why are you not also putting the question to the other arms of government?
Yes.
Why are you not posing the same questions to another arm of government?
But the point is that you are trying to expand it. Why do you have to expand it?
Why don't we all
suffer?
Members of Parliament to perform our duty. If ministers of state can use them, we are not talking about the president or the vice president or the chief justice. If the other arms of government can use it, is it crime for members of Parliament to use this particular siren or whatever, to perform our duty? I've said to you an example that it's not fair for us to be.
So why don't you leave? So leave early, like your other colleague who I spoke to said. Leave early if you want to make the time. You don't.
But in some instances, can you? You can't predict. You can't predict where you reach, and there will be a traffic or there will be a chaos. And sometimes when members of our, recently when we are about to adjourn, one of our members nearly died because they have called us to come for hair count, and he's in hospital. He has to rush to Parliament. He nearly died at Ghana School of Journalism. If you heard it.
Yes, he was coming to vote for you. It was a crucial vote that you needed to. He's a member of Parliament for Nanton.
So if at that moment, if he used salon or he used this, is it a crime? Once he's performing a duty for the country.
Interesting. Let's leave it here. Thank you. I've just been.
I'm saying, let us wait and let the bill actually come to table, okay. And then both of the House decide whatever we want to do with it.
Two things before you go. I think I made a mistake which you accepted, and I think both of us had, when I said that Dr. Ayine is the chairman of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee. He's rather the chairman.
No, he's
of the subsidiary legislation committee. So it's not his committee that adopted or inserted this.
Yeah.
So apologies for that. It's Honorable Esumedu, who is the chairman of this committee.
Animadu.
Yes. Another thing, your colleague for Boem, Kofi Adams, has sent a message saying that it is not true that a committee can insert like you are suggesting, and that they can only recommend to the sponsor to amend.
I think they recommended and the sponsors accepted it. They didn't know the committee who recommended.
Very well. That's fair enough. Thank you for the clarification. That's the Honorable. Forgive me, Honorable Alex Tete Jonobua. He's member of Parliament for Sefria Contombra and Vice Chairman of the Roads and Transport Committee of Parliament. Let me speak to Dr. Nanaya Akwada. He's Chief of Party with the Bureau of Public Safety. He's joined us on the line. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir. So you have been in the public safety space for a while. The safety of our MPs, very important. You can say it's foremost, and that's why we provide them with all the security detail we give them. Now they want to also have the freedom of moving without observing speed limits because they may go for crucial businesses of the state. What do you say to that?
Sandra, good evening to your listeners. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, please go ahead.
Very well. So good evening to your listeners. And let me use this opportunity to also correct just this one that you said. Yes, at the Bureau of Public Safety, the safety of every citizen is important. And so if you trace back our opposition to the state providing close protection for MPs, a couple of years ago, we opposed it. And we still do oppose it. It is that thing which went through, which has also fed into their psyche. And now we have other arms of government feeling entitled to some things that are not, that fall below standard practice across the world. Number one, let me make it clear that the LI, which is currently in Parliament, I understand that it has just a week to mature, then it becomes law. There are some good things in there, like you have introduced electronic spot fines, which is very good, leveraging on technology to fine and to regulate driver behavior on the road. There are provisions in there to install tachographs on buses and cargo vehicles to monitor driver behavior, rest periods, and all that. The famous toll levy, that conundrum that we faced some years back, is being repackaged beautifully and put in that airline, which is perfect. It's standard practice the whole world over. It is just this aspect of exemptions from speed limit and allowing or granting permissions for individuals to mount sirens and alarm bells on their car that we are having problems with. Omar, look at it, the whole world over. I saw the MPs struggling when you ask them why can't they do like ordinary citizens. There is no country that I know of, okay, as far as advanced jurisdiction and civilized jurisdictions are concerned, where they grant exceptions and grant such wide permissions to such mass number of people. If you go to the UK, the royal family, the prime minister, and is followed by emergency services, security agencies, period. In the US, the president, okay, the federal president, the speaker, and is followed by emergency services and security services. Where did we build this thing from? We have had issues with the existing airline that listed the president, that listed the chief justice, that listed the speaker. We had issues with it, but we thought it will end there. They have expanded it now to cover the justices of the Supreme Court, which has no cap. So currently we can have up to about 20, up to about 30 of them. All this will apply to them. We can have 275 MPs. If we expand, it will apply to all of them. Once upon a time, we had as many as 120 ministers. So over there too, currently we have 80 ministers. We are inching to in excess of 400, permissions and allowance. We think that this will exacerbate our situation in our country, especially for a country that it's established that year on year the death tolls on our road is in the 2000s. Year on year since 2009 without fail. 2000, and we are not seeing any decline in these numbers. So if we have to enact an amendment, pass an amendment to an existing law, shouldn't we be seeking to tighten areas to get people to reduce speed? What we have said is that now we are granting in excess of 400 people because of the work they do. What about doctors? What about mortuary? Do you know if doctors do not arrive at their work early, they are not disciplined enough to arrive at work early, the harm that could bring to us? Do you know if mortuary are not reporting on their jobs? Do you know the public safety issues that we could have? So look, we are not saying that MPs should not drive in motorcade. Occasionally, when there is an emergency, MPs could call, they could use the services of the law enforcement agencies to provide them with escorts. But we cannot put it in a law and say that every MP, every minister of state, the 20 or the 15 or the 20 something justices of the Supreme Court, all of these people can fit sirens and alarms and strobe lights reserved for the law enforcement agencies and also run without any speed controls. That is not it is not done anywhere in the world. So where we are inching to could be disastrous, and it could prove very, very dangerous for our road experience. So it's very important that we get the Transport Ministry to withdraw this bill before its maturity and expunge this provision, Regulation 74, which is now been amended to Regulation 39, and Regulation 166 from this new amendment.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you, Mario, for having me.
That's Dr. Nanaya Akwada. He is Chief of Party with the Bureau of Public Safety. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. So it is the Subsidiary Legislation Committee that actually worked on this LI as I've already indicated earlier. I'm just getting a number of people sending their feedback. Thank you so much for sending that to us. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's do something that the Greater Accra Regional Minister has been doing before we go for business news. And then on Point Blank tonight, my guest, Bernard Avles, spoke to him already this morning, the Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, Mr. Kofi Osafo Mafo. We'll be bringing you back that interview where he explains what the position of SNIT is and moving forward, what they're going to do following the botched sale of the 4 hotels. Stay with us.
13 persons have been arrested by the police for allegedly filling and developing on the Laboma Teshi military shooting range sections of the Pishi Lagoon in the Dadekotopon municipality of the Greater Accra region. During a visit to the site by the Greater Accra Regional Security Council, most parts of the Pishi Lagoon had been filled for development with structures at various stages of construction mounted. Speaking to journalists, the chairman of the Accra RegSec, Daniel Nee Kwate Titus Glover, assured of the demolition of the unauthorized structures in the coming days.
They were picked up because we wanted to get the right people who owns these properties around. They are some are ordinary workers. When you ask them, they said they were sent to come and do the job. So immediately we pick them. They are in the hands of the police. They'll go through the process, and whoever sent them to come and work, they should produce them. When they produce them, they'll be given bail. Then the law will take its course. For now, this one is closer to the patient. This particular one will pull all down. There is one when we are going out on your left. They are building right at the edge of the patient. We'll put that one too down. Then at the far end, close to the shooting range, that one too will go down. Then we'll see what we can do. We invite everybody to come. And we want to know who sold the land to the people, because my traditional leaders are saying that they haven't sold any land to anybody. Because they told them that they only want wooden temporary structures, but not permanent structures. So they should tell us who sold the land to them. Then we can know what to do about it.
You heard Chairman of the Greater Accra Regional Security Council, Daniel Nee Kwate Titus Glover.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now.
Go. Google me. At what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
For your country.
It's another service year. Hooray! And management of the National Service Scheme is requesting user agencies, including private corporate organizations, MMDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies, and all interested entities that wish to host national service personnel for the 2024-2025 service year to put in a formal request to the Secretariat. This year's postings are private sector driven. Therefore, user agencies are to state in writing the number of service personnel required and specify the desired academic qualifications. All requests must be on official letterhead, including the organization's official address, email, phone numbers, and location. Agencies with special needs are advised to contact the NSS Secretariat for discussions. All requests must reach the NSS Secretariat before the 30th of July 2024. National service to the nation.
In building a fatherland.
Kojo, I want to learn how to drive.
No problem at all, my dear. I will get Uncle Kofi to teach you. He taught my father and even me.
But Kojo pa, in this day and age...
Don't take chances when it comes to learning how to drive? Your best bet is Freight Masters Driving Institute. Freight Masters Driving Institute has qualified instructors who are dedicated to equipping you with the right skills for the road. Locate our office at Tema Community 5, adjacent Golden Chopsticks, or Tema Community 25 on the Deftraco Estate Road, Asaleboche, in the same building with Fidelity Bank, Westland, Hato, opposite Starbite Shell Filling Station, or on the Spintex Road, Aviation Highway Hydrophone Estate. Call us on 0303 973 388 or 0267 266 211. Visit our website www.freightmastersdriving.com. Freight Masters Driving Institute. Defensive driving with the right skills.
When you want to eat, just Momo it. Tired of the long queues in the supermarket? Pay with Momo. When you really want that beautiful new blouse, just Momo it. When you want to get a trim and get fresh to impress you know who, just Momo it. When you need to pay your utility bills and domestic staff, Shani Momo. When you want to send love to the family back home, send some Momo. Join the millions of MTN Momo users all over Ghana and live life the brighter way. So just Momo it. MTN.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan, make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Inusafa. Let's settle for the details. Government has set a new target to limit total disbursements under pre-cut-off date facilities to $250 million annually over the period of 2024 to 2025. This measure aims to keep disbursements within program targets while addressing the challenge posed by the significant volume of undisbursed funds from prior commitments. More details are available in the following report.
The directive follows an assessment from the International Monetary Fund staff report conducted after the second review of Ghana's 36-month extended credit facility arrangement. The report revealed that undisbursed amounts under external bilateral and commercial facilities signed before the debt restructuring cut-off date were significantly larger than initially anticipated. An estimated $3.8 billion in undisbursed funds from bilateral commitment alone has created a substantial obstacle to achieving debt targets. In response, Ghanaian authorities and the Official Creditors Committee have agreed to calibrate the pace of project disbursement according to program parameters. Government will evaluate each project maturity, socioeconomic value, expected disbursement pace, and associated debt service profile. Based on this assessment, a prioritization strategy will be implemented, which may involve rescaling, rephasing, or even cancelling some projects. To support this initiative, a monthly intra-government monitoring mechanism will be established to ensure disbursements remain aligned with the $250 million annual limit. Coordination with bilateral creditors will be a key aspect of this effort. As outlined in the Memorandum of Understanding with the OCC, the authorities will prepare a comprehensive assessment of potential future disbursement from bilateral and commercial partners for projects signed before December 2022. This assessment, due by the end of August 2024, will inform the prioritization plan to ensure future disbursements align with program parameters and debt sustainability goals.
That was a Business Desk report. Now, if you are a consumer of petroleum products, brace yourself to pay more for these products. The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers projects a 4% increase in petroleum product prices for the second pricing window of July. City Business News' Daniel Sagite has more in the following report.
The first pricing window of July commenced with major market leaders such as state-owned GUEL and Total Energies announcing price increases at the pumps. GUEL, for instance, sold a litre of petrol at 14 cedis 80 pesos, while a litre of diesel XP was sold to consumers at 14 cedis 92 pesos per litre. The price increments at the pumps were attributed to the rising cost of refined petroleum products on the international market and the depreciation of the cedi. These developments have not changed with the second pricing window of July approaching. The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers has meanwhile indicated that the cedi has depreciated against the dollar and is now pegged at an average of $1 to 15 cedis 46 pesos. Per this trend, COPEC predicts that the retail price of petrol is expected to increase by 3.75%, selling between 14 cedis 06 pesos per liter and 15 cedis 53 pesos per liter within a plus or minus 5% range of COPEC's projected figure of 14 cedis 79 pesos. Diesel is expected to increase in price by about 4.69%, selling between 14 cedis 57 pesos per liter and 16 cedis 10 pesos per liter within a plus or minus 5% range of COPEC's projected figure of 15 cedis 33 pesos per liter.
That was a report by City Business News' Daniel Sakite. Now, Atlantic Lithium Limited says it has received authorization to recommence operations after a fatal accident occurred last week at its project site. Atlantic Lithium, in a statement, indicated that the authorization follows the Minerals Commission's investigation into the tragic incident conducted with the company's corporation. Despite the authorization, the company says it will take a cautious approach to resuming operations, ensuring compliance with the recommendations made by the Minerals Commission. Meanwhile, the company has submitted an application for the grant of a mining lease for the project to Parliament, with processes currently underway to ratify the lease. Away from that, the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry has hinted of plans to meet with the Minister of Trade and Industry, K.T. Hammond, and the Ghana Standards Authority on Friday in the ongoing cement price regulation clash. The Chamber noted that it intends to engage the two parties before the legislative instrument on cement price regulation becomes law after 21 days. In an interview with City Business News, the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, Emmanuel Cherry, expressed hope about receiving feedback from the sector minister before the proposed day.
Proposed Friday, 19th July 2024, to the Minister for Trade and Industry and Ghana Standard Authority that we are buying. If it's agreed, then collectively we'll be engaging again at the same venue so that we take it a bit further to at least interrogate the issues properly and see what exactly can we do, because we want to harmonize the entire industry collectively. Without the harmonization, anything that we are doing, it will not see the light of day. But anything that must be enforced and implemented by the players. If the players is otherwise, there is literally you the enforcement can do. The work you can do is to close their businesses, and if they close to, it will affect everybody collectively.
You heard the CEO of Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry, Emmanuel Cherry. Now, local cocoa farmers are reiterating calls for an upward adjustment of the producer price of the commodity ahead of the upcoming season in October. Low prices and payment delays are pushing some cocoa farmers to smuggle cocoa beans to neighboring countries. Last season, the Ghana Cocoa Board lost around 150,000 tons of cocoa production to smuggling, as well as to the destruction of plantations by illegal miners. Government in April this year reviewed the producer price of cocoa by 58.26% from 20,928 Ghana cedis per ton to 33,120 Ghana cedis per ton for the rest of the 2023-2024 season. Speaking to City Business News, the president of the Ghana National Cocoa Farmers Association, Stevenson Ananeboating, says it's still woefully inadequate.
Nowadays, cocoa is being paid off the global market compared to the current price they pay to weigh farmers. It's too low. The work has become so difficult for us to use that amount. So the payment they pay, the low price they pay to us is really the main cause of it. It's not we cocoa farmers who smuggle cocoa to the neighboring countries. It's the businessmen who do that business. And we always contemplating about why they always apportion the blame on farmers. How many farmers have money to buy cocoa in that tonnage and send it outside Ghana? Every businessman is buying cocoa and hold until the new price comes out, because they know very well that definitely there's going to be a price increase by September.
President of the Ghana National Cocoa Farmers Association, Stevenson Anane Boateng. That's all for City Business News on Eyewitness News. The business news on Eyewitness News is brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan, make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Inu Safo. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
I am Ohinere Giftianti. You see, it always feels good when you receive that salary alert. I made a bold decision to invest a lump sum into the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan. And this means that I will get these alerts every month throughout retirement for the rest of my life. You too can retire on your own terms. So invest a lump sum in the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan today and enjoy guaranteed monthly income for life. Call Old Mutual on 050-453-4333 or visit oldmutual.com.gh to sign up today. Old Mutual, do great things every day.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the whole family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Attention, facility management professionals. Get ready for the event of the year, the IFMA Global Africa Conference in Ghana, August 1st and 2nd at the UPSA Auditorium, hosted by the International Facility Management Association's Ghana chapter. This is your chance to meet the world's top FM experts, thought leaders, and innovators. Immerse yourself in groundbreaking keynotes, interactive panels, hands-on workshops, and unmatched networking sessions. Explore the future of facility management in Africa's booming built environments. Don't miss out on the epic gathering of minds and ideas. The IFMA Global Africa Conference, August 1st and 2nd at the UPSA Auditorium. Be there. Proudly sponsored by Fides Group. To register or to sponsor, please call 0558 368 544.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
National Insurance Trust, SNIT, and listen to that interview that the Director General, Kofi of Osafo Mafo, granted Bernard Kokwavla on the City Breakfast Show today on the issue of the sale of their hotels and the way forward. Let's listen.
We are going to go back to the drawing board. The rationale at the time of lotting these hotels, and we lotted them with those in Accra, i.e. Labadi and La Palm being lot 1, lot 2 being the Cape Coast hotels, i.e. Elmina and Ridge Royal, and lot 3 being the hotels in the Western region, that is Usia Beach Resort and Trust Lodge in Takrady. We lotted them bearing in mind that there were synergies to be had, and also we didn't want to be left with some of the poorer hotels on our books. We've come to this point. We will go back and re-examine it. And again, as I said, this is an issue of stakeholder engagement. We've terminated the process. The stakeholders and ourselves will then sit down and we would see how we progress. I think that in the heat of things currently, it would be wrong for me to suggest openly my thoughts, because that in itself could also go and raise other issues about, hey, he's thought of doing this again and he's doing this and he's doing that. No. Let's go back to the drawing board when we have trauma environment, and then we will engage our stakeholders and arrive at a solution. I think what is important is that the status quo is not acceptable. The poor performance is not acceptable. We need to improve the performance of the hotels.
So we agree on the problem, but we don't know what the solution is. We agree that the performance collectively of the 6 is not good enough. But whether to divest or whether to ask government to pump more money or whether to change management entirely or whether to organize a prayer meeting, we don't know what solution to go forward. Fair enough. My last question has to do with the organized labor is beyond asking you to terminate the process. Is now asking that the board be dissolved and the management be removed because you have not, in the words of UTAG, listened to collective public wisdom on the matter. They feel the points they made and the length of time it took them to get you to even come to this decision clearly suggests that the people who are managing SNIT at the strategic level of the board or operational level at management do not feel the public pulse and understand the public sentiment insofar as these are public assets which go to pensioners, contributors, and the general public. What's your comment?
Okay. I think we always need to go back to what the problem is that we are trying to solve. What is the problem? The problem is we have pension fund assets. That is people's money. And again, I wouldn't say other people's money. It's people's money, workers' money. If you have a fiduciary duty to improve performance, would you not try to do something about it? Is that the real cardinal sin in looking to improve the performance of underperforming assets? I don't think that is wrong. And again, I think UTAG, it's universities. So let's talk about how one would manage a portfolio. You cannot manage a portfolio without doing anything. Something has to be done. We just have differences in opinion in how we arrive there. And that in itself is healthy because it means that we engage all stakeholders and we come to a solution. I don't think that it is ever possible that everyone would have the same solution in mind for a problem. Some people philosophically are even opposed to the simple fact that private investors are being brought in. You can never change their minds. Some people would say that you should just take whatever available funds SNIT has and invest them in the SNIT hotels ad infinitum. That is not a situation which we think is acceptable, but some people would think so. So we can never really, I think, all come to the same conclusion. But let me also make another point, and I think that it's just worth stressing. And that is on what the management and board of SNIT have achieved since I've been there certainly in 2017, and I can speak to the track record and the changes that have been put in place. And again, when we look at that and we look at the operational improvements that have been brought in, benefits processing times at about a third of what they are, the efficiency of the SNIT operations being much better. If you look at the legacy issues, the magnitude of the legacy issues that we inherited, that we are resolving. I mean, just to even flag a few, we look at, there is a complaint about us looking to divest a 60% stake in a hotel, in our hotel's portfolio to improve performance. I mean, the contracts that SNIT went into real estate as far back as 2015 have involved the investment of $185 million approximately. I didn't hear objections about that money being pumped into that, but we are working through that. We've disposed of approximately, or in the process of disposing of approximately about 20% of those apartments and real estate assets, and we are continuing to do so and working through that. We didn't allow the process to stall. In fact, the cost savings alone that we made on that West Hills Ridge project was $30 million. That's approximately half the value of what we are talking about. And I can go through other real estate investments that began in 2018, 2008, 2014, which really, again, we are straightening out and working our way through. We've completed the largest affordable housing projects in the country, bar none, approximately 2,500 units in Accra and Kumasi. We've put in a set of investment policy and guidelines that would outlive me. It's brought structure, and I would argue has put the trust in the best position that we've been since inception, because now we are guided by this policy and the guidelines to ensure that we invest in a particular way. We helped recapitalize the banks, and we just didn't even do it in an ad hoc manner. We picked specific banks that we think we thought would bring shareholder returns, and reinvested in them in 2019 during the banking crisis. So I guess the point I'm making here is that if you look across the trusts and the assets that we manage, if you look at our operations, if you look at all the other aspects that we are responsible for, a significant change has taken place. Significant.
So I think this is your response to the
at the end of that, and our attempts to improve the portfolio. Because of that, the university teachers think that that is the wrong procedure. I think that is not fair enough.
So your point, I'm summarizing it, is that beyond this botched process, the performance of SNIT over the past half a dozen years points to the contrary, that you think the management and board should be commended for making SNIT and the pensions you manage be in a stronger position, and that the negativity around this botched transaction should not be the rope that will be used to hang the management and the board. This is what you're trying to say.
That is exactly my point. That significant and very positive change has taken place within SNIT and within its structures.
Fair enough.
And I
just wanted to affirm that, because that's the premise for my next question. So, and this may sound simplistic, but because of course hotel management is not the same as pension fund management, but if the management and board of SNIT have been able to do this fantastic work, in your words, in 6.5 years, can we approach the hotels the same way, that it's a management issue? That if they're not doing well, indeed, of the 6, 2 made profits, right? So if 4 are not doing well, why don't you find good management, like the quality that runs SNIT, but in the hotel space, give them a management contract, give them targets, and let them turn it around, just like Labadi Beach and the others that have done profits probably have done. What would you say to that?
I think, Bernard, that is a very important point. Now, again, let's look through portfolio, and also let's go back to what we've done at Labadi and at the other hotels. So allow me to touch on the hotels side of things. Where did we start? In 2017, we had Legacy Group, which was a private hotel manager managing the hotels. Indeed, the point that I made during our press conference was that these hotels never paid us any dividend. In fact, when Legacy were managing Labadi, they were making losses. I just want to, in 2017, when this decision was taken, okay, let's put that into context. We ended the contract that Legacy had with GBH Hotels, which is La Palme, Elmina, and Busia Resort, because they never paid us dividend, and they were taking revenue off the top line and from gross profit. That is the contract we inherited with them. So private management did not work for SNIT. In Labadi, part of the reason for the turnaround is, in fact, we removed Legacy from the system as well. So we've tried the different ways of doing things. They have not worked for us, and we've thought of bringing in strategic investors.
But Kofi, on that point, Kofi, is it not because of the nature? Kofi, hold on. No, I'll come to that. Is it not on the nature of the contract? Because if they made a profit but they didn't pay dividend, there's a whole.
Not at all. No, they never made a profit. No, they never made a profit. That's the point.
But in the document you shared with us,
the nature of the contract. No, let me touch on it. The nature of the contract we had with these meant that they were taking a percentage of revenue and of the gross profit, gross, not net, gross. So there are two different points, gross profit. And I think that in the public domain, some people have also been quoting gross profit as net profit. It's not the same. So at gross level. So which means that they were benefiting from it when we were not. But I just want to touch on a point which is very relevant. Now, if you look in our portfolio and what is performing, the banking sector that is doing very well, and we are the largest shareholder in the banking sector, by the way. It's listed. It's private. I mean, that should tell us something. We are the largest domestic shareholder in MTN. It's private. So I don't lose sleep with our private investment. It's with our unlisted companies where we have some control, where there are issues. And the point to make is that some of this turnaround in performance has been brought about by the fact that we have set them targets and we go by them. Labadi management will tell you that we meet several times a year to go through performance. We do the same with our other unlisted companies. We have a solid monitoring process with which a solid monitoring process that we apply. So again, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater.
I get it, Kofi. What I'm trying to point out is that the track record of the hotels that you gave us, profitability and dividends between 2019 and 2023, Labadi Beach Hotel's average 5-year profit after tax was 18 million cedis, right?
Yes.
And dividend paid over the past 5 years was, from what I see in the document, 48. Maybe I may be wrong, 48 million.
Okay.
Now, the question I'm asking is, this is net profit, right?
Yes, that is net profit.
So my question is, if Labadi is making profit based on the arrangement that you put in place, why can't you put similar arrangements in for La Palme, for Elmina, for Busia, for Ridge Royal and Trust to also use efficient operational management to make that kind of profit?
Bernard, I think that we have to look at this several ways. Look at it from a portfolio approach and also look at it from what we are trying to achieve. If you are running a portfolio, what are we looking to achieve? You have to manage the risk of the portfolio.
So that's Kofi Osafo-Mafo, Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, speaking to Bernard Avle on the City Breakfast Show. Bringing to an end tonight's edition of Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sandamado. I did this with Eno Safo, production by Kobna Wilson, Beverly London, and Sami Wiafi. Technical support from Daniel Squashi. New media from Edwin Kwakofi. We'll return tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Thank you for listening. Have a good night.